Welcome to the Rusted Garden Homestead. Today I'm going to show you how to make cherry tomatoes with garlic, olive oil, and oregano. We're going to put it in a mason jar, refrigerate it. It's good for a good 6 months. You just take it out, let it thaw 24 hours before you use it. We're going to go quickly and simply, and it's absolutely delicious. I mean, it's basically cherry tomatoes cut in half. You add in garlic, oregano, olive oil, salt, and let it kind of marinate in the jar. It's really, really delicious. You use it for all kinds of things. Now, please subscribe. Check out the video description. I will link my blog to this, the Rusted Garden Journal, give you more details on the portions and really how to make this. But the first thing we're going to do is going to take 1 cup of oil, as many garlic cloves as you want, going to mince them up, put them in there, and we're going to make basically the flavoring for the cherry tomatoes. This should be really concentrated because we're going to put the cherry tomatoes cut into a mason jar and then a couple tablespoonfuls of the seasoning with the garlic, oil, salt, etc. into that, and then we're going to fill it the rest of the way with the olive oil. So this is just for the garlic flavor and some salt. Now I like a lot of garlic, so I typically go with 1 large clove per larger mason jar and a half a clove for the smaller one. We're going to mince this, so you're just kind of judging how many cloves you want to go into the oil. About a tablespoon of coarse salt mixed through there, that's the garlic. I decided to go with 5 cloves and just let this sit about 10 minutes. It'll draw out the flavor, and then we're going to warm it through the olive oil. After about 10 or 15 minutes, the salt really pulls out the moisture and the flavor of the garlic. The oregano is going to go right in the mason jar at the end, but this is just going to go right into some warm oil. There's a cup of oil in there, and I'm going to let it simmer lightly. We don't want to cook this through, maybe 10-15 minutes. Really, you're just warming it through. Again, this is 1 cup of olive oil, and we're just going to take a couple tablespoonfuls, put it into each mason jar. In this, you want to add about another tablespoon of salt. We'll be putting more salt into the mason jars. But this is just to really pull out all the garlic flavor, and you don't want this to get cooked. You don't want this to turn brown. We're just really warming it through. And it might take 10 or 15 minutes on low. The next step is really cutting the cherry tomatoes in half. You want the oil to be able to soak into the cherry tomato. Cut them in half or poke a hole in the side of the tomato. That will work well too. Mix it up, and you want to use a serrated knife. That makes cutting a whole lot easier. Check out my linked blog for more information on this recipe. You can just drop in basil on the side, oregano, combination of both, whatever herb you like. Fill the jar to the top with the tomatoes, and then I like putting in a couple slivers of garlic. 1 to 2 teaspoons right on top. Depends on how much you like salt. Use more or less. You can always salt this later. And then you're going to just take a tablespoonful of the minced garlic, drop that in there. I like to drizzle in a couple more tablespoons full of the oil from there. Once that's done, you're just going to fill it full of oil. Let it sit a little bit, let the air pockets come out, but you're going to fill this all the way to just about the top. Really any combination of herbs. I'd like this to sit out for 24 to 48 hours to let the flavors mix, and then I just give it a quick turn every once in a while. Let everything again mix together. Once you're done, I refrigerate it. It can last easily for a year, 6 months for sure, easily for a year. It's going to thicken up in the refrigerator. Just take it out a couple hours before you want to use it. Let it get to room temperature. Absolutely delicious. You can use oregano, garlic, any kind of herb you want. Basic principles, and please check out my blog linked in the video description, the Rusted Garden Journal, for more details on making this recipe. You have to try it. It's a great way to really process all your cherry tomatoes, and if you love garlic, this is absolutely delicious.